Clyde has moved on from trying to eat my highlighter pen for my show prep to my headphone cord.
They're so well trained.
One way to get mommy back.
All right. Charlie, it seems like there was a news explosion over the weekend. I don't know what I feel like the big deal is this Deripaska thing.
Yeah.
The New York FBI.
There's no, I mean, the head of the FBI, the former head of the FBI's Foreign Counterintelligence Division is under indictment for doing business with a Russian oligarch, which is to say a crook, because there are no honest Russian oligarchs.
Right.
And I mean, Oleg Deripaska is like the Zelig of this whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oleg Deripaska just turns up.
Yeah, everywhere. By the way, here's some hopeful. Joyce Vance tweeted, Tim Heaphy, who served as chief investigative counsel for the J6 committee, tells Nicole Wallace that based on the evidence as he knows that he expects the DOJ to prosecute. I mean, and it does feel like with the, 4 Oath Keepers being convicted of seditious conspiracy, guy with his feet on Pelosi's desk, that certainly feels like we're getting closer. What do you think?
Well, I mean, considering that we've had in the last 2 days more seditious conspiracy convictions than we've had in the previous, God, I don't even know, 150 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad bet right now. I'm thinking.
We were saying, I read a tweet earlier, Charlie, that you just have to think people around the world are thinking, how does this happen? That a guy tries to overthrow the United States government, and he apparently is going to be allowed to run again. I mean, and
run again. The latest Harris poll has him way ahead.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The latest Harris poll has him 17 points ahead of DeSantis.
Wow. Oh my God.
Which doesn't surprise me at all, because DeSantis is just a terrible candidate.
Yeah. He really isn't that in all the media hype that's lost. That he's just nasty. He has no charisma. He can't do a real interview, right?
Right.
He's dumb as a box of rocks, and he's got no ideas.
And he gives a terrible speech too.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah. Speaking of media creations,
right?
By the way, as the historian of the Stephanie Miller Show, I just made you that, Charlie.
Thank you.
This tweet, breaking, Tucker Carlson claims that Richard Nixon was pushed out by the deep state and that most Americans loved him. Tucker literally has no clue what he's talking about. Nixon had a 24% approval rating the year he resigned. Fox News is literally fake news.
You know what? I know that Nixon was hated because I watched Match Game from 1973. That's all they talked about.
Brett Eklund was your mother, basically.
Brett Summers.
Brett Summers, pardon me.
That's all they talked about was how awful Richard Nixon was.
Yeah. But I mean,
I spent a lot of time believing that Fannie Flagg was deep throat.
But Charlie, we talked to Jill Wine-Banks, a former Watergate prosecutor, about this a lot, that I just, we take this back to Nixon. Like, that was one of the worst things ever, is letting Nixon go. And it just started, and then you covered Iran-Contra, the Iraq War. Like, we just have a history of letting particularly Republican presidents get away with it.
Yep.
And we got to move on for the country's sake.
I mean, and to watch Durbin and Manchin jump on this Biden document story over the weekend made me crazy. The Republicans don't do that. That's why they win.
Right.
All the time. One of their guys gets in trouble, they circle the wagons. They don't stake out, good government positions.
Yeah. Well,
but the funniest thing over the weekend was Joe Manchin saying he's mulling to run for president.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Who in the name of God is going to vote for Joe Manchin?
Right.
Oh, God, and he and Kirsten Sinema. What the hell was Kirsten Sinema wearing? Was this a pelt she just shot? Oh, my God. So she's high-fiving with Joe Manchin, out voting down voting rights on the filibuster.
What is she doing at Davos in the first place?
Right.
I know.
I mean, don't they have like a cover charge or something?
Well, I know what future Senator Ruben Gallego is doing, is announcing his run for Senate.
He was declaring that he's had enough of her nonsense.
Yeah, he was.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, exactly. We've had him on. I think he's fantastic. And Charlie, I don't know what you've heard, but it seems like early polling looks really good for him.
Well, early polling looks really bad for her.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the question is how successfully will the Republicans cheat in that state?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would think Gallego's, probably the winner book favorite.
Yeah. So, Charlie, as a well-known girl watcher and Supreme Court watcher,
I'm a girl watcher.
well, just Jody.
I'm a girl watcher.
Yeah.
Watching girls go
But so
by. My, oh my.
a lot of people,
The occasions, ladies and gentlemen.
a lot of people out here buzzing about this new, Sundance Film Festival, the new documentary about Brett Kavanaugh, which we cannot wait to see.
Yeah.
Right. But the director says his first documentary named Justice picks up where the FBI investigation into Brett Kavanaugh fell woefully short. He said it shouldn't be this hard to have an open and honest conversation about whether or not a justice on the Supreme Court assaulted numerous women as a young man. Obviously, a lot of new tips apparently have come out because of this. What do you think?
I'm more intrigued by the fact that it pretty much tees up the kabuki Potemkin FBI investigation that Jeff Flake got that took like a day and a half. Mm-hmm. And, Christopher Wray has already told the Senate that any tip they got, they passed along to the White House.
Right.
I mean, that thing was a joke. The investigation in this movie. By the way, the director of the movie, he's the son of Arthur Lyman, who was the Democratic counsel, the lead counsel of the Iran-Contra Special Committee.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have also Supreme Court. We're talking about this ridiculous non-investigation into the leak. The marshal of the U.S. Supreme Court said she spoke with justices but did not ask them to sign sworn affidavits during the probe about who leaked the Roe v. Wade opinion. The justices actively cooperated in this iterative process, asking questions and answering mine. Oh, I see. They got to ask the questions, and they didn't have to sign an affidavit. I see.
I mean, that's an entirely new frontier in police work.
Yeah. I mean,
before we start, can you tell me why you think I robbed a bank?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it said amid blah blah blah. Employees say it deepened suspicion and caused disillusionment. Of course, it was meant to clear the air, but obviously they put everybody else through paces they did not put the actual justices through.
Well, the real joker in the deck here is the fact that somebody in that building knows who did it.
Yep.
Whether it's the leaker himself or whoever they leaked it on behalf of, somebody there knows what happened. And it sounds like, they exhausted all the options except the justices, because they put everybody else under oath, or they had them sign affidavits. But one or two of those people on the Supreme Court knows who leaks the opinion.
For some reason, I just had a flashback to my favorite, the Al Sharpton Blueberry Pie promo for MSNBC, and Judge Alito has the blueberry pie on his face.
Oh yeah, that's it. Was that Al Sharpton?
That was Al Sharpton,
right?
Yeah,
not Al Franken.
No.
I heard that.
That'd be weird.
I heard that as Al Franken. That was weird.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like it seems like justices, I will see what happens. There's obviously a lot of outcry on a lot of fronts, but it does feel like we're moving in I don't know what you think of this Oleg Deripaska thing in the sense of, I keep saying this over and over, but why did we just say that's okay to get away with the even 10 counts of obstruction that were clearly proven?
Oh, you're talking about
I'm just it's all
now.
come full circle now, the Trump Russia thing, has it not?
And this Magano guy, he was also involved in the railroading of Wen Ho Lee. Mm-hmm. He was in that New York FBI office, which was with the place where they knuckled Comey into affecting the election. Mm-hmm. This guy may know a lot more than just what he knows about Oleg Deripaska.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, and I wonder if, he's going to flip on everybody else, whatever this whole story from the New York FBI, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know if he's got I can't talk about it because of national security thing going for him. But if not, I would think he knows a lot more than is shown in that indictment. That indictment is basically a money laundering indictment.
Yeah.
Which I've always thought was the easiest case to make against all of these bozos.
Yeah.
Russians overpaying by 200% for some condominium in Florida.
Well, I mean, Trump's been doing it for. I don't know why justice has not caught up with him. Hasn't he? Isn't that kind of well known that he's laundered Russian money for years?
I have always thought it was the easiest case to make against him.
Yeah. Right, it always goes.
Was that he was laundering money for those
like
guys.
Capone, they always go to the. By the way, Trump got caught in a photo again with another mobster that he said he doesn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Who's that?
Skinny Boy or what? No, was it Skinny Boy? What's
Skinny
Boy.
Joey.
Yeah, Skinny Joey.
Joey. How you
Joey.
doing? How you doing?
Joey.
Yeah,
That's
Joseph
the sort
Skinny
of-
Joey
That's the
Merlino.
Philadelphia mobster who is not the chicken man who they blew up in his porch.
Right. They did the usual. President Trump take countless photos with people. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Except that he's
How did
also
the guy get into
pretty mobbed
Mar-a-Lago?
up.
Just 'cause a mobster got in to visit with a former president of the United States.
Because Trump's always been a mobster that's kind of mobbed up. But okay.
Secret Service is fine with that, apparently.
Is he just a coffee mob boy? Is that what he is? Trump doesn't know him? Yeah. Okay. All right. Charlie, say adieu to your loved one.
I will. First of all, let me say in person, happy birthday to Mom.
Thank you.
100, a century
Yes.
of Mom.
Yes, indeed.
A
Indeed.
centenarian. Did she get does North Carolina give her stuff? A lot of states.
Oh,
somebody
I don't
turns
know.
You know
100,
what? The
they-
governor
they-
should do. The governor might do a proclamation or something for people
Oh.
who turn 100.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot of states do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When somebody turns 100. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I will let you know.
You should do that.
Okay.
You should make that happen,
well,
lady.
there's
Nice jar of
stories in the
nice
paper.
jar of barbecue sauce.
Oh, all right. Thank you.